All right, Doc. I like when you do these. These are gardening terms, right, that we often hear.
Yeah.
And some folks might not know what they actually mean.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and some of them kind of sound a little bit strange, and
They
they
do.
think, "Ooh, what does that mean?" Like double meanings and stuff. So.
okay. Well, you ready to get into it?
Sure.
This is always fun. All right, so here's our first gardening term. How about blight? We say
Blight.
blight,
Yeah,
especially
blight.
dealing with tomatoes, right? We
Yeah.
always say blight.
Oh yeah.
So,
Got the blight.
the blight.
Oh, I got the blight. What can we do about the blight? You know, yeah, it's a bad thing. It's definitely. I mean, you can just tell by the way people say it, blight. You know? So, yeah, it's a bad thing, and it can either be referring to a particular disease.
Okay.
We have a late blight, early blight on tomatoes, or it could just, when you use the word blight, it could refer to actually the injury on the leaf. So it could be a disease or the injury that is caused by diseases that are blights. What happens is it could be a spot, that could be the injury. It could be a lesion. It could be anything, or it could be even death. You know, blight very definitely can cause, some of the bad ones can cause eventually death of the plant. So it's a bad thing, you know, and if you've got blight, you need to do something to try to remedy the blight. And as you say, fungicides is the way to go, because most of the blights are caused by fungi, and most of our fungicides are only preventive. They're not curative. And the idea is to get it out there and get the foliage covered and the blossoms and the fruit. So it depends on exactly which blight we're trying to control, but yeah, it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing. Fungi.
It's a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our next term is crown.
Crown. Okay, well, most people would think that's what the queen's got on her head. But with gardeners, the crown of a plant is the point where the stems meet the roots. It's, in other words, right there at the soil level, that's the crown. And it's where roots turn into stems or stems turn into roots. And in a perennial, of course, it'd be fleshy, and in a tree or something else like that, it'd be woody. So it's just that junction of that transition area.
All right, so that's the crown.
That's the crown. It's not what the king or the queen wears on their head, but our crown, we used to, when we were kids, we'd crown each other. That means just bop each other in the head with your fist. I'm going to crown you.
The crown.
Yeah, I'm going to crown you. Put a knot on your head.
So here's our next gardening term, green manure.
Yeah,
That one a lot, right?
That's
Especially when
not
we're dealing
ripe
with-
manure. I mean,
Right.
it's not ripe yet, no.
Green manure. Of course, you hear
Okay.
that a lot, you know, in vegetable gardens.
You do, very much so. And that is a kind of an old thing that's been around a long, long time. Farmers practiced it way back, generations ago. And it was a crop that you would grow that usually was one of the legumes, which have the nitrogen fixing, you know, ability. So what it does is you grow this crop, and it can be a cover crop. You know, a lot of green manure and cover crop doesn't necessarily mean the same thing, because cover crops can be not green manures, just cover crops to prevent erosion and things like that, or to break up hard soils. But a green manure crop is grown specifically to grow and turn back into the soil for its manure or nutritive, you know, properties. And it's mainly legumes like clover,
Hairy
vetch.
vetch.
Yeah,
right.
hairy vetch. Beans, yeah, alfalfa,
Alfalfa,
exactly.
right, sure.
You know, bean crops, all of those could be used as green manure crops.
How
Yeah.
about that? So there's your green manure.
Yep.
All right, how about this gardening term? Big term, scarification.
Yeah, that's one that we hear sometimes in reference to seeds. There's scarification and there's stratification. Scarification is a way to weaken, open, or abrase a hard seed coat, because some of our seeds will not germinate because for a length of time until that seed coat degrades in some way. Now, if you're in a gardener, you can hasten that by scarification. And mainly the way we do it is mechanical. You can take a file, you can take a knife, but what you're doing is you're just scraping or abrasing that seed coat to weaken it so that moisture can get in there and it can germinate. And that's scarification. You can also do it chemically, you know, with sulfuric acid and things like that, but I wouldn't recommend that for the home gardener.
Yeah, I don't know about the home folks, right?
But I have definitely, you know, like bean
Sure.
seed is an example, canna seeds, morning glory family seeds, nasturtium, anything that's got a hard seed coat would benefit by scarification.
All right, how about this one? And I hear the old timers say this, sour versus sweet.
Yeah, you're right on it, Chris, because that is an old-timer's term. And those are terms used to describe the alkalinity or acidity of the soil, the pH, in other words, the pH.
Right.
And when I got to reading up on it, I found out that it originated when the pioneers crossed the United States going westward to determine where their best home site was. They would actually taste the soil.
How about that?
Yeah, and I hadn't tried that yet. I was going to do it. I thought, no, I'm not even going to do that even for Chris Cooper. I'm just not going to eat dirt. But it said that you could tell the alkalinity or the acidity of a soil by the, you know, the way your taste buds reacted, and a sweet soil would be more alkaline.
Go figure.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and it's sweet, meaning that it would, well, be sweet as opposed to sour, which would be like a fizzy. And I did read up where one guy actually did it, and he said that a really acidic soil or a sour soil would taste like those, what's that candy? Those rocks that blow up in your mouth? That little candy that's fizzy, really fizzy?
Yeah, the
So it would be
bubble?
fizzy.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Little
and it
rock
said an
candies.
alkaline
Okay.
soil or a sweet soil would be like taking a dose of milk of magnesia.
Wow.
Yeah, coat chalky.
Okay.
It
okay.
kind of coats your tongue. So I'm just taking their word for it.
Ah, good deal. Okay, that was good. Okay. How about this next one? We hear this one all the time. Wet feet.
Yeah, wet
feet.
Yeah, and you mentioned that in your rose culture thing about when you dug the hole and it filled up with water. Most plants do not like what we call wet feet, and that soil, whether it's in the ground or in a container, that is continually wet and soppy, what we call soppy. I don't know if that's a real word or not, but I believe it is. But you know, unless they're a bog plant or an aquatic plant, most plants do not do well with wet feet, and that's just a term we use to refer to a waterlogged soil.
Waterlogged soil. Wet feet.
Yep.
Good stuff. We appreciate that as always. It's good stuff.
No problem.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. To find out more information on this topic, just click on the familyplotgarden.com link in the description.